And of course, if you're from Florida and if you ask them where you're from, I don't know if they do this, they'd probably pull out a gun, expose half the magazine, then just point to it, and I know this because Florida on a map looks like an upside down gun, and just say Tallahassee! In Jacksonville from Michigan, then I would just explain what Michigan's thing is. The thing about the people from Michigan is if you ask them where they're from, they're going to point to their hand. They're going to point to any specific part of the... What in the name of Queen Charlotte, Michigan? Well, good afternoon to all Minecraft veterans, North Carolinians, ladies and gentlepugs, everybody alike. Hope you're having a real nice day today. It's me, your favorite netherite cyborg, Puggy, and welcome back to episode 34 of North Carolina in Minecraft Season 2. Wow, I never realized how much better the skyscrapers look when viewing them from the highway to Wilmington. Much more fascinating than I thought. Maybe even better from the Drowned Farm. Shall we do a comparison? Alright, here's it from here, from the Drowned Farm. It's nighttime right now, so that obviously means the skyline looks significantly better. But I think the highway is a much more notable spot to see the skyline because from up here you only see the top of the buildings. Like literally, who would just come out of nowhere and suddenly scream, "Top of the buildings to ya!" Here by the PNC Plaza, because this thing is freaking huge. The Dogwood Building from Fayetteville and the University Tower from Durham. All of them are almost completely blocked out by Raleigh's PNC Plaza. Or Raleigh, as we're supposed to call it. But we can see the vast majority of the skyscrapers here in Jacksonville, and that looks amazing. Skyscrapers, that's one of the many things that I feel like we should be preparing for while I am busy doing other stuff and not uploading videos till November or December. Don't worry, I'm gonna show you what I am talking about soon. Nice little trident you got here. Can I have it?
No!
That was just rude to hit me in the face for asking a question. You need to teach your children some manners.
And I know what you're thinking, but Puggy, you've already built so much in Jacksonville, Onslow County. You built a crud ton of skyscrapers, a statue made of shrimp. You built an aquarium underneath Winston-Salem's tallest building, and you even built an underground bar in the city of Jacksonville and a floating bar in the town of Swansboro. What more can you possibly build? Things, that's just for starters. Because I am never running out of ideas in Jacksonville, Onslow County. Never once, never will. Impressive. Most impressive. I just made plans for no odd reason. Okay, I just got off the phone with my best friend. Come on! If I was like that, but I'm not. I still don't have a relationship right now. That's okay. It's going to change soon. But yeah, I wouldn't be like that. Because I'd be a great boyfriend. And of course, I wouldn't disagree to any plan, even if I wouldn't like it. I just got off the phone with my bestie, and we just made some plans. That sounds great. Even though I'm not gonna like them, might as well just hear. Okay, that's great. What are we going to do? Okay, so, we know you build so much. We are building more skyscrapers. You want to build more skyscrapers, but there's a twist, they're going to not be from North Carolina. You want to build more skyscrapers in my hometown, but they are not from North Carolina! Yes, from the quartz pillars that you saw on the west bank of the New River, you already know what's going to happen. Yes, we are going to build more skyscrapers within Jacksonville, Onslow County, but most likely not today, because these will take a really long time to do, because there's going to be more than one. From the distance you can see 5 tall quartz pillars and 5 quartz outlines of new skyscrapers that are soon to be constructed right here on the west bank of the New River, and 2 of them already completed. I know, that looks like a complex of 7 skyscrapers from the Midwest. I'm pretty sure you already know where these towers come from. And that's what I'm going to introduce. is that there's going to be a new financial district that's going to be built on the west bank of the New River that you can still see from 100 North Main, Lincoln Financial, and University Tower. Alright, don't worry, I'm going to tell you the name of this new financial district. Alright, so the name of this new financial district on the west bank of the New River, which we can already be hinted by from these skyscrapers, is going to be called the Mini Detroit. I know some of you are pretty confused. Mini Detroit? Detroit ain't small, Puggy. Yes, I know that. Detroit is a big city. Like, pretty big. I mean, sure, it doesn't have nearly 2 million people anymore, but the metro area nearly has half 10 million. That is still big. Detroit is the 26th largest city in the US. Its population finally rebounded after nearly 70 years of decline. The metro area is still above 4 million strong. Like, go on, Detroit. And of course, the skyscrapers you can see that are soon enough going to be built right here is the Renaissance Center. That is the tallest building in Detroit and all of Michigan that will be coming here to Jacksonville. So I already got the blocks set up that I'm going to have to do a lot of grinding for in order to build these things. It includes concrete, glass of any color. I chose green because I think the normal blue glowing Renaissance Center is a bit too generic and it's too common. I mean, I know the LED lights in Detroit do tend to change colors every now and then, but I think it's better off green. And so yes, off camera, I did start and complete the two smaller towers, 500 and 600 Renaissance Center from downtown Detroit, because they were the shortest ones I could build. 59 blocks tall, that is not relatively large. These, however, the four towers that are just surrounding the main central tower, 79 and a half, and then, I went to the top of the antenna for the main central tower, is going to be 115 blocks tall. Now keep this in mind, why am I calling this financial district the Mini Detroit? That's because I'm cutting all of the skyscrapers maximum height in half of the original. Towers are 59 and a half blocks tall. Originally, their height is 103. And these, I'm pretty sure it's 153. And the main central tower at the top of the antenna, its maximum height is 230 blocks tall, or 755 feet. At the top of the building, it's 727 feet tall, so the antenna on the top of the Renaissance Center central tower only adds an additional 19 feet. So, yeah, I don't know why I'm including antennas. Well, Puggy, you built 3 skyscrapers in Jacksonville that do have antennas. Onslow Tower, PNC Plaza, and the Sandstone Tower. Yes, I know that. But this is going to take a really long time to do because Detroit has a lot of skyscrapers. And it's going to take a while for me to figure out what their maximum height is and how I'm going to reduce them. I mean, it's simple. Just going to divide their maximum height by 2 in terms of meters or blocks in Minecraft and then just cut them in half. And there we go. We have our situation sorted. But there's an issue. There is probably more than 100 buildings in Detroit that are more than 5 stories tall, which is the height of the real-life Onslow County Jail. That's what I'm gonna do for the Mini Detroit Financial District on the west bank of the New River. I'm thinking about building many Detroit buildings that are more than 5 stories tall. Anything taller than the Onslow County Courthouse in real life will be built in Mini Detroit. The population of Detroit that I had and spoken of earlier, they're gonna be like, oh my god, he remembered we had nearly 2 million people in 1950. Yes, I do. I do study my history every now and then. But for Detroit, it's a fascinating city, and it's on the brink of rebirth, which I'm grateful for. And I'm actually very proud that Detroit had actually gained population last year. Finally, Detroiters are getting the respect they deserve, because every now and then, anywhere you go, Detroit is an awful city. It is filled with crime and absolute boringness. There's almost nothing to do except get shot there. That's not the case anymore. Detroit is getting more lovely, and I love every second of its change. From The rise of Detroit thanks to the auto industry, the decline thanks to the auto industry leaving the city and for other countries, to its rebirth into an absolute masterpiece of a Midwestern city. I love Detroit! Don't get me wrong, I haven't been to Detroit just yet, but it's definitely one of those Midwestern cities I'd love to go to. Maybe even live there. As I said, I know the good and bad of Detroit, even though I haven't been there. I just know. I know it. And of course I know there's good and bad in Detroit because I also come from a city where a similar city in Florida actually has a lot more good and bad than here. The Detroit Financial District may be even larger in area than downtown Jacksonville. I mean, in real life, that is why many people call Detroit the Big D. And that's a nickname that'll stick forever, even to the end of time. It's me about today's world is how comedy is just gonna make everything much more nicer than it is to many people these days. I think comedy should be something I should do because I like being more peaceful and also keeping my thoughts to myself, even if they are not gonna be the best. And of course, from comedy sessions that I've watched online, I've heard that multiple states tend to have their thing. Like if you go to Ohio and if you yell out the letters OH, they're gonna shout I-O. Yep, Ohioans are the only ones that do that here in the US. That's their thing. And of course, if you're from Florida and if you ask them where are you from, I don't know if they do this, they probably pull out a gun, expose half the magazine, then just point to it, and I know this because Florida on a map looks like an upside down gun, and just say Tallahassee. In Jacksonville from Michigan, then I would just explain what Michigan's thing is. The thing about the people from Michigan is if you ask them where they're from, they're going to point to their hand. They're going to point to any specific part of the What in the name of Queen Charlotte, Michigan? Then again, I can understand it makes sense because Michigan on a map is shaped like a hand, except the Upper Peninsula. On the mainland of Michigan, if you just ask someone where they're from in Michigan, you're like, hey yo, you're from Michigan, where are you from? And they're just gonna say, right here. Okay, I don't get where that is. It's not like a lot of people were in geography class in one day and then someone was like, oh, by the way, if you go to Michigan, Detroit's a thumb joint. I mean, I'm from Eastern North Carolina. Michiganders, our thing is that if you ever want us to get seafood, we'll go to a shrimp buffet, all-you-can-eat buffet 129 times. Is that really true about us? No, it isn't. I'm just trying to be funny here. That's the thing. Every now and then, if you meet someone from another state, especially if you get into a relationship with them or have a friendship with them, the best thing about that is you can make up stuff about your own state and nobody is going to know if it's true or not. Puggy, certain comedians have very bad ideologies. It's going to divide you if you become a comedian. No, it flippin' won't! I'll tell you what. Comedy is one of those places where you can be in a room with hundreds and hundreds of strangers and nobody is going to care about the vast majority of things that you support or are against. Like seriously, nobody's gonna care about who you're voting for, nobody's gonna care who you're in a relationship with, nobody's gonna care about who you had a child with, nobody is going to care where you're from. All you can know is that you will be in a room with hundreds to thousands of strangers and all of y'all will have the exact same thought. This guy's funny. As someone who would become a North Carolinian comic, I'd be grateful that every now and then I can appreciate that some of us are not one far side and some of us are, and I'm happy to say we North Carolinians are not Florida. Now, back to the skyscraper thing that I'm gonna do for mini Detroit. I'm not just gonna build Detroit skyscrapers in Jacksonville, I'm gonna build them from other states as well that I've actually lived in, from major cities I've lived close to, or actually traveled to. Keep this in mind, the farthest I have traveled in the northwise is Massachusetts, so I'd have to build the tallest building there for Boston. But every now and then I'm going to be ranking them by population. Boston is the third largest city that I have visited as a child, second to Nashville and way behind Philadelphia. Yes, I've been to Philadelphia. Philadelphia is an amazing city. It has such great culture. Got some friendly people. It is super nice. Now, for this, I'm gonna have to put up a very big boundary between the railroad track that'll take you to the stronghold and the rest of the tracks that could, well, lead you into a mountain, because like I said, this financial district is going to be relatively big. Mention this, when it comes to Florida, if you ever go to the city of Jacksonville and you ask someone where they are from there, if you ask them, hey yo, you're from Jacksonville, what part of Jacksonville, Florida are you from? They're going to point to any part of their nose, yes, especially the nostrils. What the frick, Jacksonville? Sounds odd, but let me tell you why they would do that. It's because on a map, Jacksonville, Florida is shaped like a nose. I'm not kidding. Look at Jacksonville, Florida closely on a map. Because it's a consolidated city county, just like in this universe is Jacksonville, North Carolina, with Duval County in Florida. And because of that, it is shaped like a nose. I mean, you have never been to geography class and your professor had just yelled out in college, oh, by the way, Floridians, your largest city, Jacksonville, your downtown area is in its nostril. It's a gross joke, I know. But still, it makes sense. Jacksonville, Florida is shaped like a nose. It's odd, I know, but it's kind of humorous. Don't get me wrong. I know I'm stuck in a hole right now. I do hate the fact that in Minecraft I'm not as tall as I am in real life. And I have no one up here, so that way I can shout, boost! Yep, that sucks. I don't have anyone to boost me out of the holes that I get stuck in because I created them. Yes, that does kind of stink, but every now and then it's appreciated. I should make a memory lane district on the east side of the new river, so that way we can have all the skyscrapers of every state and every major city in that state that I have lived close to. And yes, that's also going to include some from New York, because while I have lived in New York, I am going to say this. Some people will want me to build it during a blizzard, even though where I used to live closer to Watertown, I always remembered that we got 3.5 feet of snow within one evening or one day, okay? One flippin' day. And as someone from North Carolina who is already super tall and can probably just plow through it, this could freak us out because we don't normally get snow where I'm from. It's like, oh come on, y'all, there's 3.5 feet of snow outside. Yeah, it's no big deal. No, it is a big deal to me. Yeah, seriously, no big deal. Why do you not get this? It's New York, it's no big deal.
I am 6 feet tall from Jacksonville, North Carolina!
It's very different for me. If you're from New York and every time when it snows, every time you trip and fall, your knees probably gonna get wet and just say, oh snap, it's winter time. If we Jacksonville, North Carolinians trip and fall in 3.5 feet of snow, we suffocate! You get that? Or get frostbite. And because I want to learn more about other states and their culture, if you are from another state outside of the South, or just any state in particular, please tell me what your state's thing is. Because I really want to know how I can differentiate y'all from other states. Because like I said, from comedy I learned how to differentiate people from Michigan much more easily from other states. And that's obviously the hand thing. You ask someone where they are from in Michigan, they're going to point to their hand. I get it, the state is shaped like a hand, it makes sense. I'm glad Michigan does that, and I'm glad states like Florida, Alabama, and Louisiana don't. I mean, oh, I think I might have figured out Louisiana's thing. If you ask someone where they're from in Louisiana, it's likely they'll take off their shoe and point to any part there. I mean, like, okay, that's kind of weird. Louisianians don't do that. I'm pretty sure they do, and that is only because that's because their state is shaped like a boot. Like a boot in Louisiana isn't. I mean, yes, Italy is shaped like a boot, but that's only for the left foot. Louisiana is shaped like a boot for the right foot, so they're gonna have to take off their right shoe and tell you where they're from. Anywhere in Louisiana. That is what I want to know. Do Louisianians actually do that? I want to learn more. I want to learn. Too scared to get past the tracks, creeper? Like, literally, watch. Someone gotta look at this. They don't go past the tracks. You make this look easy. I was talking smack about your state and how some of us North Carolinians are not like y'all. Don't take offense. I am not offending your state. I am just simply saying that y'all are still good people, but you got some pretty messed up folks down there, especially closer to Orlando and Miami. Like, seriously. This is why the Florida man meme became popular. I think you got some crazy folks, and I wish that every state has their crazy folks, so that way it's just not you that's getting victimized by the Florida man meme. Do you think Florida men are just being victimized just for views? No, not intentionally. Okay, I think I've been doing much of hill carving for today, so I think I'd rather just stop that and save all the building for next time, or maybe whenever I have free time. Because this is gonna take a long time to build the mini Detroit financial district, because now there's another completed skyscraper in Detroit. One brand new. I'm pretty sure you already know what it is, so no spoilers, okay? I'll keep my mouth shut like I always do. And so, yeah, I believe that'll be all for today. Not gonna be in front on top of Onslow Tower today because I definitely want to showcase the new, soon to be built Renaissance Center that'll have it. Most of the building sites are cut in half, so that way it represents mini Detroit. So there you go. Now you know why it's called mini Detroit. Because the skyscrapers from downtown Detroit are going to have their height cut in half. So that way, it's a lot shorter than, well, its maximum height. So yeah, half. Small. Detroit, not small. Kind of doesn't make sense, but okay, gotta deal with it. Now then, until next time, I hope y'all have enjoyed watching me lose my sanity. And as always, thanks for watching, y'all. Have a nice day. And until next time, where mini Detroit should be mostly complete, Puggy out.